Welcome to Joa Fitness Health Wellness Video Podcast, a space to ignite your day through positive conversations. We bring people that have created excellence in their life, sharing high vibration in their reawakening path.
Hello, and welcome to Back into Alignment here. Your host, Joa Rivas. It's been a while. I took about 6 months of a break. Building new skills as a human is being very challenging to do so much, and I like to take breaks sometimes to reset myself and to focus in different aspects that I needed to be bringing attention. Now I am excited and back into alignment to share with you in this moment episodes of beautiful stories of women that are transforming our community and creating social impact for all of us. It is beautiful to be back into alignment when you need time to rest. I welcome you. I encourage you to take a break when you are feeling overwhelmed and you need a time to just take a break and rest. It's okay. I encourage this because it's important for you to avoid burnout. I wanted to be back into alignment, not only because I used to dedicate this podcast for the spine, but in this moment, I feel like what we need more than education about a particular topic is actually to get together and connect together. For sure, we're going to continue talking to topics related to the spine because everything is actually around the spine, right? We have a stress, we deposit the stress around the neck, around the lower back. But in this series, I wanted to bring you inspirational stories of real people in our community that are creating changes and they are bringing transformation in their families and within the communities that we live. Here in Toronto, we are actually hosting an event that is called Heels and Champagne that is dedicated to showcase stories from our sisters in our community that are creating a change and they are bringing so much positivity in this moment that we need so much of inspiration. Today we have a great superstar that I love. She's been my friend for over 3 years, but beyond that, she's being a catalyst of change, especially for the youth. That is so important to have leadership. She is Francine Mbvoumbo. Francine Mbvoumbo is the leader of Mothers to Daughters, which is a for impact organization focused on helping bridge the intergenerational gap between younger women and more experienced women and spark lasting personal and professional relationships among them. Launched in 2020, the organization Mothers to Daughters has hosted over 30 virtual events and offer 2 flagship programs that support all self-identifying and newcomer women in Canada. She sits in the Youth Committee for Jobstar, where she helps develop mentoring solutions for youth. So Francine, she is among the 2020 top 100 women to watch in Canada. And yes, she is a rising star. She is part of a community, and I'm so excited to have her here in our beautiful Back into Alignment podcast, just because it's so aligned to us to listen to people that actually come with dreams and they actually not only live in their head, but also walk the talk by creating transformation and putting into action their thoughts and their desires. Francine is a very young entrepreneur and she brings so much ideas for us to be able to connect with her. If you are a woman, if you are a mother, if you are a grandmother, all of us, we can actually connect with her in her community. I have met amazing mentors and coaches from her organization, and they are all so positive, and actually they are connecting the gaps between generations, which is so important for us to create those bridges that can bring us together. She has been presenting her coaches and mentors in our platform Heels and Champagne, and I'm so fascinating how she can put together all industries in one space. We have mentors from music, film, we have mentors related to law, we have mentors related to inspirational programs that are related to the youth. So to be honest, we can see that every industry can be together in one platform in order to grow together. Definitely there is some kind of challenges happening in terms of sponsorship. And this is something that we are going to be talking together, so you can actually get involved and get to support each other. She loves Rihanna, and she actually dances so much that this supernova, it brings so much love and so much passion into our community. It's been a pleasure actually to be her friend, and I'm so excited for you to hear the story of Francine, who is definitely somebody that you will never forget. Let's get comfortable where you are. And by the way, if you love this episode, I would love you to click a like and also send us a comment. And even if you want to get connected to Mothers to Daughters, we welcome you to reach to her. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome again to Back into Alignment. It's been a long time here. My name is Joa Rivas. I am so excited to come back fully charged after almost 6 months of a break. It's been very intense this year, doing transitions with my actions, but I'm here with you back into alignment, of course, with the podcast name, always reconnecting to our true essence. Excited to connect with you and your community, to know where you are. I would love to hear if you can actually send me messages in the channel about where you're connecting from. We have been having talk with people from all over the world, from Australia, from UK, from US, and we have a big community. And finally here, reconnecting to everybody. The podcast has been for 5 years. And yes, I took time this year. Sometimes we need to reset our time and our schedules. I got really busy, but now I want to come back, especially because I want to bring back topics that are really important to share from our community and to engage with inspirational stories. So today we actually have a friend of mine, firstly, but also a great leader and change maker from here in Toronto. We have been together as friends for more than 3 years. I have been seeing her growing her path as a thought leader, and beyond that, as a woman with big dreams, not only in her mind, but also creating the actions, tangible actions, by creating a community of mentorship, which is so needed nowadays. And I am so excited to introduce to you guys my friend Francine. How are you, Francine? Please tell me a little bit about how you feel, and thank you so much for giving us part of your day to share your story.
Thank you so much. That was a lovely introduction. Thank you, Joa. And I think of you as a leader making an impact as well. I love the name of this podcast, Back into Realignment.
Into alignment.
Into alignment, back into alignment. Exactly. So thank you. I am so honored to be here. I mean, I feel like it's always, when we talk and we have all these words of encouragement and support for each other, and to be in this platform just makes it, I don't want to say casual, but I feel really comfortable, and I look forward to sharing more about myself so people get to know about what I do through Mothers to Daughters. But yes, Mothers to Daughters is the way I'm giving back to the community and the world to make an impact and really put an emphasis on how women are extraordinary, pretty much.
Yeah, of course. And now it's becoming more popular, I believe, and also people are more conscious about the power of community and the power of mentorship together. And this is one of the main values and the main purpose of your nonprofit organization called Mothers to Daughters. But because you are a woman, I think it's important to know the story behind the creator of this platform. Mothers to Daughters has more than 1,000 members so far registered between mentors and mentees. We are calling for more people. I'm sure there's so many people that actually not aware of this organization. But firstly, we want to know about you as a woman, you as a daughter, you as a virtual mother of so many souls that are actually relying on you. Tell me about your story as a girl. How do you actually where are you from? Tell a little bit about your story with you as a daughter, the connection of you with your mother, and a little bit about you as a little girl. I love to hear this part of speakers.
Oh my goodness, you're bringing me back to memory lane. Like you said, I'm a girl, I'm a daughter before any of these titles and any of the impact we're making with mothers to daughters. I am originally from Central Africa in Cameroon. It's a beautiful bilingual country, just like Canada, by the way. French and English are the official languages. And I was raised in a family of girls. There's only girls in the family. I have no brothers, so there's about 6 of us, and we all have our, different characters, and we all grew up really, I'll say, looking up to each other. And, despite the little fights here and there, because it gets, Becky around women, but I'm fortunate because we looked up ultimately to a very strong woman, and that's my mother, and she's the essence behind the community work I invested myself into. I grew up being very ambitious at about 10 to 12 years old. I knew I wanted to do my MBA. I knew I wanted to do I just didn't necessarily have a name to certain things, but I was just so driven. And I was just seeing her take some bold steps. One of them being leaving her full-time job to become an entrepreneur. And if it wasn't for that very move, I would never have moved to Canada, because that was a huge stepping stone into setting us up in order for her to send us abroad from Cameroon, which was also a goal of hers, right? So she was living her goal through us, even though herself, she was not exactly able to do that. And, fast forward, you come into this country, I come into this country, Canada, my adopted country, and I had the opportunity to find other mothers because my mom was not always with me. And finding other women just really empowered me in ways I only found out later on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. So this started, as I feel, it started with the guidance of your mother as a mentor, and also your own desire of excelling. From very young age, you already had a vision about what you wanted to do when you were older. So yeah, beautiful. And then you chose Canada because I believe you are here with only friends, your whole family is away. So why did you choose Canada as the country for you to develop your purpose?
Canada was actually not exactly a choice of mine. It was always about moving to North America, and to be completely transparent, the United States was the first goal. But sometimes you plan things and, life shapes it in another way. So we took another turn, and that was because my parents were wise enough to listen to one of my uncles. He was very knowledgeable of the culture here. He used to work and have friends as well, who was just attesting to the stability, and also from an educational perspective, how this country would just be the better fit. And also knowing it was as bilingual as Cameroon, we just figured it would also help not necessarily wait until I immerse myself in English that was just a second language and not exactly spoken as I'm speaking it to you now. French was still very, very much the first language. And so just because of all of that, University of Ottawa was the choice. It was a bilingual school. I will slowly settle in, and I will be able to, yeah, just step into my purpose without, again, not knowing what that was looking like. So I choose Canada based on guidance from my elder, which I value a lot, because when people tell you, because they've been there before, which is also what we do with mothers to daughters, you have to listen.
Yeah, so I see. So it's being always someone next to you, providing you some type of guidance and mentorship to be able to be where you are. And moving forward a little bit from the teens, and then choosing Canada as the land that could allow you with opportunities to bring your maximum potential so far. I wanted to know a little bit about, is there a particular time within your journey that you decided to be so proactive to actually open a nonprofit? Was it a particular event that you realized your potential to guide a group of people, or it was something that you have been feeling from such a long time that you just decided to just step into it? How was that moment when you actually decided to have a nonprofit and call it Mothers to Daughters? Was it like an epiphany moment? Like, can you please remind us about this? Because it's very important to know that you have 1,200 members in your community. It's going to grow much bigger. We only have 3 years since the moment you created it. So it's growing with a great pace, but we just want to know exactly when was that actually click that started on you to just take action?
Yeah, when you make yourself available and you're self-aware, you live many epiphanies, right? I think even taking a step back like you did this year is some sort of epiphany, because you think it's time to reset and then come back to alignment. For me, it was no different. It was a medley of various experiences, starting from when I was still in Cameroon. Like I said, I just knew I wanted to do something someday beyond conventional, but it had no name specifically. I'm not talking about knowing that I want to go to school and pursue a graduate degree, but when you see your mother being so selfless, you're growing up around people that you're not necessarily related to by blood, but they are family to you. That was probably the first seed. And at the time, I wasn't really realizing or noticing. I had no idea what community impact was, or what. I didn't even understand why she was doing everything she was doing, always putting people first. And coming to Canada, I was focused on my studies, obviously, because I had to make my family proud, right? And going through that experience as well itself forced me to call friends family and strangers family, because I had no family here. That as well shaped me, because for a very introverted person at the time, it was almost unthinkable to be able to connect to a certain level with others. So that was probably the second moment for me to step out of my comfort zone. It was not by choice necessarily, but when you think about it, it could also have been a choice for me to just stay within my comfort zone and not talk to people and just stay among my friends because they were my age, and there's a comfort in it. Now, getting into the workforce, I started being shaped by other women as well. They were also strangers. And again, I wasn't realizing what was happening. I was just going with the motion and letting myself shaped. I had no idea it was even called mentoring. I had never heard of that word before. So, and one day I had just moved to Toronto, I should say, and I was just trying to navigate, the networking and just how open-minded and fast-paced things were here. And I just decided, after observing, that I wanted to see closely how people were really, entrepreneurs specifically, were really thinking. And I really started deviating slowly from what it is to being purely an employee and tapping into that entrepreneurial mindset. Again, thinking of my mother and all of that. And I said, I think I owe to everyone who invested in me, and women specifically without knowing me, an homage, starting with my mother, and that's how Mothers to Daughters was born. So many epiphanies.
Many epiphanies. Yeah, it seems like it's been many events that have been guiding you to actually take the action to create something this big. I know a lot of women that are listening to you right now are your mentees. Some of them are your mentors. Some of them have been around you in a way that they have been either taking or giving you something. And it's such a beautiful experience to be in a give and take situation where you know that you're not only giving but also receiving. I think that's one of the main purpose of your organization of Mother to Daughters, as a way to create a bridge of the intergenerational gap in between families. We're talking about there is so much rivalism between the sisters in our own families, between family members. Sometimes we don't communicate with our own families, and the whole idea for Mothers to Daughters is to create this bridge of connections and collaboration, so we can actually live this life easier, because we know we have available resources for us, especially in Toronto. We are extremely blessed to be in a place that offers so much. Now, coming back into Mothers to Daughters, can you please tell us a bit about when was founded, and how many members did you get? Who was your first 10 members that you can remember? You can even mention some of the very first people that believe on you, because those people are create such a good anchor to you when we come with these crazy ideas. Entrepreneurs, we all have these crazy ideas and nobody really believes sometimes. And then there is always people that they know the end goal that we have, and they actually trust the process and encourage us to go. So can you please tell us a little bit about that first week when you decided to incorporate this into your actions, and who was your very first 5 rocks that keep you anchored?
Oh, I love this question. You know, it feels like yesterday. I can't believe it's 2023 and almost 2024, but this all really started in my mind in 2019, end of 2019. And as I was talking to people, I had mentors at the time, people I had just met, and others that were just had been part of my journey and were in the background. So as I was starting to develop this, I remember there was even a colleague of mine who was working with me on a go-to-market plan on how this would look like. We brainstormed the name together of Mothers to Daughters. I remember being biased because there was a name, Mothers to Daughters. It was a book. It was mainly about the maternal relationship, not necessarily the spiritual / mentorship relationship that Mothers to Daughters is all about. But we went through that process. I'm so grateful for her because she found our very first logo. And it was, the 2 butterflies, the 1 butterfly, and then the smaller one. And I thought at the time, it was just really it happened just so fast. I think I felt I was so ready because of that support system. So going back to the 5 people who championed this with me, I think about my family. I had my sister working very hard to push this with me. I had a friend as well.
And in that moment, sorry to interrupt you, you have 5 sisters. Which one of the 5 sisters was the one that was there with you?
Manuela, she
mentioned, I thought you were saying everybody.
No, yeah, you're right. So one of my sisters was very supportive and she was also part of the team. And then I have friends like Irene and Olivia. They were just doing a lot. And obviously Svetlana as well was pretty much, because she has a community who does mentoring, beyond mentoring and the business element of it. So she was really one of the strongest pillar of championing this project. And I was just, working closely with her, working closely with friends and family. So the first members were pretty close to me. And they were also, in a way, some sort of strangers. They just met me, like, say, December. And in March 2020, when we launched, they were already raising hands to be speakers, to be part of it, to spread the word. It all happened very, very fast. And at the time, the pandemic was also beginning. And, we had a moment of, do we step back or do we, just go head on? And we chose the latter.
Yes, beautiful. So yeah, that is always important to stop and actually become aware of those very first steps that took us where we are. Sometimes we are always looking forward, but then we don't get to stop and rest. That's why for me, to be honest, I don't feel guilt of taking the 6 months away from back into alignment, just because I was recalibrating my energy. And it's fine. It's okay for everybody to stop. And I think for you, in that moment when you were actually in the birth of mothers to daughters, you call on in all these amazing pieces that created the base of mother to daughters. And maybe you never realize up to now how important has been these people to be able to hold your space and hold your ideas, to be able to be where you are right now. It's always great to give them a shout out to all these people that have been trusting us and believing in our intentions of what we're doing, for a big purpose. Sometimes we don't even know what we're doing, but it comes with a big purpose. In 2019, I also was in a transformation. I was leading a group called Supernovas, which is similar, creating this support for women that are not in their top potential, because they're afraid of adding a new skill that it doesn't connect to their current skill. Let's say if somebody works for a bank, right? Because I think people need to know, Francine, what's your actually 9 to 5 job?
Oh, well, I'm a finance professional,
Exactly. Behind that that persona that we see, the character that we actually been hearing, she actually works in finances. She actually has a job, but somehow this is something that brings her alive even more than in her regular skill. So basically, how can we, basically that was the idea of Supernova for me. How can we blend our current job with another skill that actually will actually enhance your purpose even deeper, in a specific time. So basically in 2019, I was like you, and I actually very interestingly, probably we were navigating through the same transformation, how you create a mothers to daughters. I've been following you since 2020, probably when we met through the pandemic. We sat down, you told me the story of what you were creating. And then I'm so proud of you. What you have created on this past 3 years has been accelerating, growing, and definitely it's like a compound element. It's going to go much, much faster as we get to spread this message. That's why I want you to be one of my first, actually the first speaker on Back into Alignment, because I'm going to be continuing this series with many coaches and mentors from the mothers to daughters that has been in one event that we're creating once a month to bring and showcase women in our community, to spotlight those people that are brave and have courage to just do what they actually love to do instead of doing what others want us to do. So basically, this is awesome. We are also curious about how can we connect to mothers to daughters. I know the conversation is just about a 30-minute conversation, so we're gonna wrap up. Because you're a very, very, very busy woman, I wanted to share a little bit about the story of Francine as a founder of Mother to Daughters. These beautiful butterflies, they are transforming inwards, but also sharing so much in our community. I see this as a global change that's going to happen. Eventually, mothers to daughters will have centers all over the world, because many of your members are actually newcomers. So can you please tell us about how do you see 2024, the growth of mother to daughters? And how do you see yourself, like maybe relocating somewhere? Like, how do you see yourself growing in this path? Any intuitive feeling that you're getting in this moment?
Thank you, Joa. And I'm so glad to be part of Supernovas as well. I was able to meet some great women that have a heart, their hand on their hearts, just like you are. So thank you for all the kind, warm, and supportive words, and I'm sending them all your way. I can't wait to see how your communities, I should say, because you are quite the powerhouse, flourish as well. As you said, you said it so well. Mothers to daughters, we want to see it become a global movement. And, we've really been trusting the process and also taking it one day at a time. We're not racing against anything or anyone, and all the growth we've had in the past 3 months was always super intentional. It was me looking at the year, just like 2023 is going. But exactly a year ago, we wanted to really activate some engaging collaborations, and that's exactly what has happened this year. And next year, we want to continue in the same. We want to continue in the same route. We want to continue having those partnerships and really starting to shape how we'll be starting to expand globally and touch more lives. As you said, we have programs. We have a program that we've been launching for the past over a year now, and it's relaunching this January, and we want to continue impacting women and connecting them to people that will be able to help them step into their purpose and make them better version of themselves. So that's our priority now, having that program really roll successfully, and see how we can, spark more partnerships, see how we can start having more events as well, because we're really big on collaboration. We've had the opportunity to collaborate with you as well. Thank you so much for being part of our programs. And that's how I look into 2024. Just more impact, consistency, presence, and more testimonials of how women empowering women makes a difference.
Yes. Now, in terms of AI technology and all this rapid growth of shifting the way how we are actually trading money, how we are actually creating even the avatars of who we are. So do you see that is it going to be a department dedicated to this growth? So this perhaps will catapult the growth. I'm talking about is there anything of partnership related to woman in tech, something that you think okay, if I add this department very strong, we will be able to reach out more and bigger. Is there anything like this that comes into play on 2024?
Absolutely. That's right on. As someone working in the technology space myself, I'm very, very knowledgeable and aware of the changes that are happening from a digital standpoint, and we want to tap into that. We have not exactly launched anything specific to STEM, but that's something that's coming up for us. We are looking to see how we can empower younger women to, say, for instance, transition into roles. I have many people in my life transitioning into certain areas to tap into technology and to be more attuned to what AI is bringing and how it's shifting this world. So we want, with those collaborations, that's exactly what we're looking for. And that will really set us up for success, because that's where the world is going, and we're absolutely not oblivious to that fact.
Yes. Now, if you have a magic wand right now, and the magic wand will allow you to bring one aspect that it is a big challenge in this moment to be able to get bigger, let's say, or to have a bigger impact, what would be that specific wish that you have?
Procuring sponsorships. Procuring, I should say, because procuring it creates a stability. When it's ad hoc and one-off, obviously it's not to say that you're not grateful, but we're really gearing ourselves, and I speak for myself and the entire board, to have a structure in place where we can have that stability with any sponsorship we'll be tapping into in the new year. So we are able to really not only dream bigger, but have more impact, because obviously everyone at Mothers to Daughters volunteers their free times, including myself, because we just believe that women need that support. So having that financial support in forms of sponsorship in a recurring basis will really help us shape the next, 2 short term, 3 to 5 midterm, and even the longer term to really have that global impact.
Mm-hmm. And this is related to like grants, government grants also as well?
Government grants are one aspect. We also want to tap into private sponsorships, meaning organizations that are not exactly government related or funded that can invest into what we're doing with our programs to, help us enlarge in the scope of the programs that we are, the experience that we're offering through those programs. That's one aspect that will really make a difference.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, just making notes, and also I'm asking these questions because you never know who is listening to this conversation, and if we have the resource to get us there. That's what I'm asking all these questions. You never know. We just have to ask, so the universe will bring us the answer to us. I'm sure there will be plenty of private sponsors in 2024. I am very excited to hear who is going to be partnered with this great purposeful organization that I've been part of. I've been seeing it. I've been witnessing, and I would love to hear more stories from your mentors and the coaches that are part of Mother to Daughters. Now, to complete our call, I wanted to thank everyone that has been able to stick into the last minute on this conversation. I would love to hear if you got an insight, if you are actually in that 2019 when you are actually thinking about something, but it's so big that you have so much fear to step into greatness. I welcome you to ask for help and to talk to people. You never know when you are telling people your vision, and people will actually support you and help you to find channels of ways to do it. So I challenge you to really write it down and start walking into that, because it makes a big difference once we are actually back into alignment. Thank you so much, Francine. Any last message before we complete our conversation?
I just want to add a cherry on top and just double up on, you have to believe in yourself. And just like you said, you just never know who hears, who's connected, and can create the pathway for you. So important stepping into 2024, not to let circumstances make you shy away from what is in store ahead of you.
Yes, 100%. So thank you so much, Francine. I know you're a very busy butterfly.
We are all busy, just like
You're
yourself.
very busy. And thank you so much for giving us 30 minutes of your time. I think it's great to share your conversations. A lot of people come to me and they want to know more about Mothers to Daughters. I think this would be a great clip to share, to know who you are as a human, and also as a dreamer that is dreaming big and creating big social impact in Toronto and very, very soon globally. So thank you so much, everybody. Remember that here together we are stronger. Thank you so much.
Together. Thank you so much for having me. Good job, Joa.
We invite you to subscribe to this channel and share with your community. Please leave comments below, and if you like the episode, click the like button. Have a beautiful day.